Come along as I sand and refinish these 100-year-old Merritt Island pine hardwood floors. Now you might be thinking to yourself, these floors do not look 100 years old. They don't look to be in that bad a shape. You're correct. These have been reclaimed. These actually are original to the house, these floors, but this homeowner had actually torn them out of this house and then reinstalled them himself in this herringbone pattern. So that is pretty cool. He did a pretty good job of doing it as well. So they are original to the house. They are 100 years old, just like this house is. I think actually a few years older than 100. I think it's like 104 or something like that. But so he had torn them all out, cut them all to the same length, and then installed them himself, and then sanded and finished them himself about 10 years ago. They took on a little bit of damage, a little bit of moisture damage and that sort of thing through some hurricanes over the last couple years, and he wanted to get them sanded and refinished. They were doing a little bit of work on the house and decided while their furniture was out, it was a good time to do it and take care of it. So, just like we do on every floor, we are rough sanding, trying to get off all that old finish that's on there. Luckily, it's not that old on this one, so it wasn't putting up too much of a fight. The finish was coming off nicely. We did start with 40 grit paper on this one. And you'll notice I sand what looks to be cross grain on this. Because this floor is laid, everything's at a 45-degree angle. Pulling straight on this is, in essence, 45ing it. So it's kind of interesting looking how you sand this one. But after doing a rough sand over the entire thing, we did fill this floor. So we are using a product made by Loba. This is Easy Fill. This is a product where you mix it up, the filler, with some fine sawdust. That is your sandings, basically from sanding on the floor. So you mix it all up and then you trowel fill the whole floor. Once that was done, I kind of crisscrossed it going the opposite direction with 80 grit paper here, and then we went over it going the opposite direction here with 80 grit again. So this one got an extra pass with the big machine just because of the angles of these floors. I wanted to get out as many of the sanding scratches as I possibly could. Anytime you're going at an angle like this, you're always obviously at risk of leaving scratches unintended. So I wanted to kind of do our due diligence on this one, make sure we got everything out of it. I did have help on this one. This is my wife's cousin Xavier, and he was helping on this one, doing some edging with me, picking up some side work. So happy to have him along on this one. So after fine edging everything and scraping the corners like we do, we're ready to buff. So we started to buff with a 100 grit screen on the buffer here and going over the entire floor. This is the final pass before we're getting ready to coat it. Now we are not staining this one. This is going to be a natural refinish. We're going to kind of put it back how it was. So those colors that you saw originally, that's what they want it to look like again. So we're going to be using the same product that we used on the job that you probably saw in last week's video. This is going to be Bona Dry Fast Sealer we're going over this floor with. You can see it there in the background of that picture. And this is an oil-based polyurethane. It takes about 4 to 6 hours to dry. And we are going over the entire floor first coat with this. This is going to seal in the color. And then we'll let that dry overnight, return the following day to buff it, and start applying finish coats. So this floor took a week total, 5 days into this one, and very happy with how it turned out. You'll see some pictures near the end of kind of how it ended up looking. Obviously, it's a different sanding pattern on this one, so lots of extra work went into this one. But very happy again with how it turned out. So once that was dry that night, buffed it. Now this is that 200 grit sanding tape on a maroon conditioning pad. So we're just going over the entire floor, roughing it up. We do this for two reasons. One is to abrade it, make it smoother, get any junk that could have landed in the finish off of it, get it as smooth as possible. as well as we're creating a mechanical bond because the product that we're going over it now is water-based. So obviously we're going over an oil-based product with a water-based product, so we have to create a mechanical bond, as they will not bond chemically. So buffed it, vacuumed it, and now we are starting to apply our finish coats. You can see in the foreground there I'm using Loba Easy Finish, and this is, like I mentioned, a water-based polyurethane. We're going to be going over this with multiple coats and finishing it out. So this coat will take a few hours to dry. We'll let it do its thing and then come back. We see it's dry here. Come back and we're going to apply the final coat. So that's what you see me doing here. This one is all done and in the books. This is actually a bit of a throwback. I did this floor a few months ago, but I never had a start to finish video. And so I thought it might be one that you'd like to see, start to finish. If you'd like to see a more detailed version, you can go back through my videos and see a day-by-day clip of this. But this is the start to finish. This one is all done. I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye!